they are, in the situation that they have to do something. That's the reason. That's one of the main explanations of employing the retrenchment option. And one of the findings that I think important is if a government has a higher ratio of own source with taxation, something like that, they tend to employ more retrenchment option. That's quite consistent with the fiscal federalism literature in saying that if a local government is dependent on their own fiscal resources, they are more likely to maintain their fiscal discipline, and they are likely to employ whatever resources to maintain their spending level. In contrast, if local government is reliant more on the central resources, like, for example, intergovernmental grants, they are less likely to, adjust their spending behavior to fit with the new economic environment. That's very that piece of findings is very interesting. I will discuss a little bit later. What I found is that Thai local government in general are likely to be, in terms of the retrenchment that they employed in the past economic decline, they are more likely to, employ the spending cut first, and then they are followed by the revenue enhancement options, and then they put the management improvement for the last. That is quite contrasting to the fiscal behavior in the, in many Western countries that I found from the literature. Local government in many U.S. and even Western countries, if their economy has declined, they are trying to maintain the existing level of service first. They are trying to enhance their revenue from untapped resources, something like that. The reason is that, I guess, they are trying to keep the people, the residents, less affected by the economic decline. But for Thai local government, they are saving themselves first, I guess, and put the people for the last. If you are the local resident, you may be largely affected by the spending cut. That is not good for the quality of life of the local people, right? And that's a very risky, fiscal behavior of Thai local government that I found from this research. And for the second point is that as Thailand has been in the process of decentralization, actually it's been about a decade ago, and we are trying to, the central government is trying to give more money to local government, just giving them grants or more taxes, something like that. But central government hardly give the tax power, the tax authority to Thai local government. That means Thai local government has to rely more on the central government revenue. And that's the indicator of, as I said, the fiscal federalism literature, in that the fiscal structure provide the incentive for fiscal indiscipline for Thai local government, which is not very good sign neither. And the recommendation from this research is that if Thailand is going to decentralize more of fiscal resources, the central government has to give them more of tax authority instead of tax amount in terms of grants or shared taxes, such that Thai local government can maintain their fiscal discipline better. And The last point is that, as my findings show that local government having a good fiscal condition is likely to employ more fiscal retrenchment option. So if we want to have a better local government in terms of financial management, we may need a system so-called like a fiscal surveillance system. The system that can signal the fiscal policy for Thai local government so that Thai local government can plan better to cope with the economic downturn. And that's my presentation. And I appreciate if you have questions or comments. Thank you.
Any suggestions or questions? You can do so. We have about 1 minute for the questions.
Archon Kapipun from NESDB, National Economic and Social Development Board. For your recommendation, in the second recommendation, you talk about the tax, tax authority about local government revenue. You talk about like increased tax authority. So tax authority, does that mean like user fee or charge by itself, not tax sharing, right? Not grant?
Right, exactly.
Okay, so if the land and property tax will be affected, it means that can make the revenue from our local government can be increased, right?
No, that's not part of my research. But that's the option. I mean, for the foreign audience, I would give you the overview of revenue structure of Thai local government. For example, if basically a Thai local government has the own source taxes. You know how much do they have from their own source? 9%. 40% from the intergovernmental grants, and about the last 50% from share taxes. What does it mean? It means that local government spend every Thai baht that they spend, just 0.1%, 0.10% from their tax effort, which is not very good for the promoting the fiscal discipline at the local level. My option is that if we can restructure if we can change the revenue structure of Thai local government to have like a larger portion of own source revenue, that might be one of the factor that enhancing the local fiscal discipline. But in Thailand, we are now we are studying the new land taxes, property tax. It's been studied about 30 years, and it has not been passed by the legislature in Thailand. And we think that if that law passed the legislature, that would help increase the portion of local government revenue. But how much, that's still the empirical question. Any questions so far?
Another question, right?
Very good morning. My name is Min Yang, and I'm from the Japan Council of Local Authorities. And a very brilliant presentation. Thank you very much. My first question was actually answered just now about the ratio of the central government and local government revenues. I wanted to know the percentage of grants by the central government to the local government, but you have answered just now. Thanks a lot. And my second question would be, is there a set of criteria or key performance indicators for the local governments when the central government is considering an intergovernmental grant to the local government?
Yes, politics. That's a joke. Actually, they don't have criteria for the allocation of intergovernmental transfer, but it's not complicated. I mean, it's not as complicated as the one in Japan. We have basically like the number of population, the size of government area. For the better part is like the level of gross provincial product. We not have so-called city. Income per capita. We do not have such indicator at the moment at the local level. So practically, we do not have a good indicator for allocating the intergovernment transfer. We are trying to, but as we know, the system is not well developed, so that we have a very limited amount of, very limited number of indicators to be used for the allocation of intergovernment transfer. But we do want to have like LAT system like in Japan. We wish to have such system, but again, it's politics. And I can explain you a little bit if you will. The national, the representative, the MP, the member of parliament, they are all willing to intervene in the process of allocating the intergovernmental transfer. It's the politics. They wish as you know, you may call, they wish to bring their home big amount of pork, big piece of pork, bring it home, and you will get elected again. That's politics, and that's always true in Thailand.
Any more suggestions, please? Good morning. I am Per1 from Nepal. Thank you very much for your presentation. And as a recommendation of your presentation, you mentioned that you recommended that the funding from the central government should be reduced and the authority of raising funds at the local level should be increased. And another point you noticed that the revenue collection at the local government is very low, as you mentioned. It is 0.9% of the total revenues of the local government. Same is the case in Nepal also, because our local governments are solely dependent on the central funding, donation from the central government. And what I want to know that what may be the reasons for why the people are reluctant. They are not interested to pay the taxes at the local level, and what may be the causes of low tax collection at the local government?
That's a very challenging question, and I may not have a good answer to that. But let me put it like this. Do you prefer paying taxes? Yes. Yourself? Really? Well, actually, as I know, if you are comparing like that's called tax culture. If you're comparing like the